Coming up on Freedom Watch Afghanistan, the Sergeant Major of the Army visits Bagram Airfield. Afghan National Army soldiers attend courses at Camp Bastion, and Medevac teams are awarded for their courage under fire. Hello, welcome to Freedom Watch Afghanistan, where we tell you the stories of service members and coalition partners dedicated to making Operation Enduring Freedom a success. Whether in charge of a small team or every soldier in the entire Army, leaders have a duty to keep their troops informed. Staff Sergeant Josh Lovely takes us to Bagram Airfield, where the Sergeant Major of the Army met with troops to discuss new policies and take questions.
Sergeant Major of the Army Raymond Chandler took time to visit with deployed soldiers in Kabul, Jalalabad, and Bagram airfields. Soldiers came out in droves to hear him speak about the latest changes to AR 670-1 and what's in store for the future of the Army and his NCO Corps.
My job as the Sergeant Major of the Army is to engage with soldiers. And that means you got to get out there and talk to them and see what's on their mind. And I believe that by doing that and providing that information back to the Secretary of the Army and the Chief of Staff of the Army, they're going to be better informed in what they make decisions on now and into the future.
Traveling from Kabul to Jalalabad and finally Bagram, he engaged soldiers on topics like his expectations of leaders.
Well, the first thing is you got to train them. I mean, you can't just expect by osmosis that when somebody puts on Sergeant E5 that they're the best leader in the organization, in the entire Army. You've got a responsibility, we all do, to one another to continue to develop our junior leaders to replace us. And that means you've got to share both your knowledge, your skills, and your experiences with them so that they can grow.
Sitting down with soldiers to talk and have lunch, he demonstrated his firm belief in mentorship. The Sergeant Major expects non-commissioned officers to mentor their soldiers and help them grow into positions of increased responsibility. Visiting soldiers and listening to the concerns of the troops on the ground gives Sergeant Major Chandler a lot of personal satisfaction.
I truly believe they're heroes and they do amazing and unnoticed stuff day in and day out. And if I can tell them thanks, if I can recognize them with a coin, if I can listen to their concerns and try and provide an answer, it's a really great thing, and I think I help the Army and soldiers.
For Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan, I'm Army Sergeant Josh Lovely.
Parts of southern Afghanistan have been relatively peaceful, especially in the wake of recent elections. The Afghan National Army and coalition forces have been effective in creating stability that is expected to last long into the future. Army Private First Class Christina McKenzie takes us on a patrol in the Kandahar province that was once known for routine violence.
1st Battalion, 12th Infantry Regiment linked up with Afghanistan's National Defense Service, or the NDS, to work together to plan a future partnership. The purpose of this alliance is to continue to crack down on criminal activity and insurgency in areas around Kandahar province, where the NDS has worked hard to turn places like the Dan district around.
The Dan district is a great model of what all Afghanistan should be. They've secured it. The crime is significantly less than any other area, to the point where they're worried about petty crimes right now. And that's all because the AUP, the NDS, has worked together, just destroying the enemy's support zones in the area.
112th then linked up with the Afghan Uniform Police to conduct a patrol to look for weapons caches and other threats in the area. Partnerships between the coalition forces and Afghan forces are important to keeping areas secure.
We do try to link up with the central leadership, and they usually will tell us, the enemy's expected to be in this location today or this week or this month, and we'll go down to that location and partner with AUP, making sure that they're the ones leading the patrols.
112 will conduct future patrols with the AUP and the NDS in hopes of eliminating future threats. Army Private Christina McKenzie, Kandahar Airfield, Afghanistan.
In our next story, Corporal Alex Flynn takes us on a joint patrol with the Mobile Strike Force in the Kandahar province. There, he shows us exactly how the Afghan National Army plans to maintain the hard-fought peace and security of the region.
Afghan National Army soldiers with the Mobile Strike Force recently partnered with their counterparts in Pale Horse Troop, 4th Squadron 2nd Cavalry Regiment to conduct joint reconnaissance patrols in villages around Kandahar Airfield.
The Mobile Strike Force has some of the most important and difficult tasks, especially tasks conducted with our international partners. We were very successful. We achieved good results, and the soldiers did their jobs very well.
For the duration of the 3-day operation, MSF and Pale Horse soldiers worked hand in hand to secure 3 different villages.
Partnership with MSF went fantastic. They're highly motivated. They understand the mission. They understand what we're trying to do for them, and they understand what they're trying to do for their own country. And so the joint partnership has been fantastic, and hope to do more of them.
Reporting from Kandahar Airfield, I'm Army Corporal Alex Flynn.
After the break, we'll see a Medevac team receive the honor they deserve, and Afghan National Army soldiers conduct battlefield training. Stay with us.
U.S. Forces Afghanistan leads the way in providing assistance and support to Afghans across the country. And now through Facebook, you can track these milestones, like the advancement of Afghan women, soldier stories, and the successes of Afghan security forces. Share posts so your family and friends can see what our mission is accomplishing. Find our Facebook page by searching for U.S. Forces Afghanistan or type facebook.com/usforces.afghanistan into your browser. Also, hit like to stay up to date on the latest news.
Your voice can only be heard if you take action and request your ballot today. See your local voting assistance rep to learn how. Send your vote home. You can make a difference.
Welcome back. Training forces is the cornerstone of every successful military. The Afghan National Army continues to take steps forward toward providing their own safety and security. Sergeant Chiquita Pena has more on valued training in this story.
It is sometimes said that the cost of something is what you're willing to pay for it. Afghan National Army soldiers at the Coalition Regional Corps Battle School at Camp Bastion, Afghanistan, have their soldiering skills put to the test, and if necessary, pay the toll.
This is their second phase. A lot of these soldiers are NCO, so they've been in the battlefield before. Majority of them haven't done a formal course, so this is what they out here for. To get a better schooling, get a better instruction, and then better hone their skills so they can go out and be successful.
Rahman Wali understands the value of his training.
Such training is successful for us. We have just graduated and haven't done this kind of training before. So this training brings us success and victory in order to stand for the country and defend.
Newly promoted Marine Staff Sergeant Pedro Garcia says it's not just training.
This is more of a test of how they're going to be operating out in the real world scenario. Security, reaction force, and then initially the patrolling phase. The key leader engagement is designed to see how the leaders interact without the help. During the exercise, we don't have that much hand in it. Now we're just in the back seat, making sure they have what they need to have so they can go out and be successful.
The real test is on the battlefield, and for success, Rahman Wali is willing to pay the ultimate price.
To defend my country, bring stable security, I'm asking God to bring peace to my country. I also want to say if the cost of peace and security is my blood, I will do it.
Reporting from Camp Bastion, Afghanistan, I'm Army Sergeant Chiquita Pena.
Random searches can often mean the difference between life and death in the capital of Afghanistan, an area continuously targeted by car bombers and insurgents. As a result, nooks, crannies, and crevices are inspected to ensure life and property is protected. Sergeant Joe Della Pena filed this report from Kabul.
They're called the Gates of Kabul, and the Afghan National Police, or ANP, have created an outer layer of security for the main roadways in and out of the city.
To keep the city safe, the ANP take the lead searching vehicles for drugs and weapons. They are assisted only by the Task Force Volunteer Police Advising Detachment and civilian police mentor counterparts from Camp Phoenix.
We provide police advisors to the Afghan Uniformed Police through military personnel and Dynacorps mentors. And basically we're observing their operations today at the gate, helping them out, refine their techniques, tactics, and procedures.
It is excellent. Our international friends have always been cooperating with us in every field of training. They have been always cooperative with the ANP, Afghan National Army, and National Defense Security Forces, which have been a great support to us.
These gates have played a critical role to the security of RC capital, Kabul city, especially with the elections. We had a very low rate of violence, and that was due to the efforts by these police officers out here at the gates of Kabul.
The advising teams will continue to reach out and mentor the ANP, but now the gates of Kabul are under the watchful eyes of its own police force. Reporting from Camp Phoenix in Kabul, Afghanistan, I'm Sergeant Joe De La Pena.
Ever ready and always present, combat medics prove why their job is one of the most dangerous out there. In our final piece, Sergeant David Graves takes us to Bagram to see some of the service members who save lives while putting their own on the line.
3 Air Medals with Valor, 5 Air Medals, 6 Combat Medic Badges, and 2 Combat Action Badges, all awarded by Colonel Jimmy Blackman, commander of the 159th Combat Aviation Brigade, to Task Force Thunder for their courageous actions under fire while rescuing wounded soldiers.
And I didn't do anything other than say, yeah, go get them.
Chief Brandon Schaefer recalls arriving on the scene.
As we were coming in, we could tell that it was different than most of the missions we had done. The guys on the ground had a perimeter set up. They were all very actively looking out and about for active shooters.
Colonel Blackman praised Task Force Thunder for staying vigilant, as well as their quick response. Captain Brent Heber, an en route critical care nurse, attributes training and teamwork to their success.
Everybody from the pilots to the crew chiefs to the medics to the nurses on board, they were exceptional. Definitely an intense situation in which everybody stayed calm and did exactly what they were trained to do. And we were able to get the soldiers out and get them back here safely.
Once they received the call, the 2 Black Hawk teams gathered supplies and were in the air within 15 minutes.
Yeah, our bird's up. They gotta go.
Lead flight medic Sergeant First Class Christopher Hale believes he holds one of the most selfless jobs in the Army.
You got the guys out there fighting on the front lines, and they depend on us to get them out of that sticky situation that they're in. And you've got a company's worth of men and women that'll do just about anything they possibly can to help that one individual.
The nurses, medics, and pilots all work closely to keep soldiers safe and in the fight. Reporting from Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan, I'm Army Sergeant David Graves.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Freedom Watch Afghanistan. Thanks for watching, and make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for more OEF updates. Till next time, stay safe.